Hello, and welcome to our webinar, Page Turning Picture Books. I'm Sarah Hunter, editor for Books for Youth and Graphic Novels at Booklist. Before we begin, I'd like to go over some technical details. Links to today's slide presentation and title list were included in the reminder email you received from Zoom 1 hour ago. To download them, please open that email, scroll to the bottom, and click on the links located there. You can also download the slides and title list by typing the URLs on this screen into your web browser. If you have any trouble accessing these materials, please contact us at webinars@booklistonline.com. The audience is in listen-only mode, but we welcome any questions you may have. On the bottom of your screen is a toolbar with a button for Q&A. If you have a question or need technical assistance, simply click Q&A and type your message into the box that appears. We will do our best to respond to all tech-related questions, and we'll pass along all other questions to today's panelists so they can follow up with you after the webinar. Booklist offers closed captioning on all webinars. To enable or disable captions on your screen, please look for and click the Captions icon on the toolbar mentioned earlier. From there, you can select Show or Hide Captions from the menu that appears. If you choose to enable subtitles, you can adjust the size of the captions at any time by selecting Caption Settings. And finally, Booklist just expects all participants to maintain an atmosphere of respect and fairness. Anyone who violates this standard of behavior, including engaging in any form of harassment, may, at the discretion of the organizers, be immediately removed. Today, we have the pleasure of hearing from Emily Ludlow, Associate Manager for Libraries at Sourcebooks, Haley Flagg, Assistant Marketing Manager at Simon Schuster, Maddie Hughes, Associate Manager at Disney Publishing, Casey Griffin, Senior Marketing Manager at Phoenix International Publications, and Kari Maturin, Editor at Annick Press. First, we'll hear from Emily Ludlow. Emily is the Associate Manager for Libraries at Sourcebooks. She previously worked as a digital marketer with some of the top names in the music industry in Nashville, Tennessee, but ultimately could not resist the pull of her first love, books. Thanks for joining us today, Emily.
Hello, hello. I'm so excited to chat with you all today about some new, upcoming, amazing, inspiring picture books coming soon from your friends at Sourcebooks. Next slide, please. My name is Emily Ludlow, and I'm an Associate Marketing Manager for Libraries at Sourcebooks. You can follow us on our listed socials here to stay up to date with our latest news, free galleys, and a whole lot of resources. Please, of course, feel free to email me with any questions you may have. Now, on to the books. Next slide. Starting with a picture book that was recently released, but I do love it so much. I just could not leave it out. Cute Animals That Could Kill You Dead showcases animals that put the aw in adorable, but also have killer instincts that will knock your socks off. Each animal gets a profile of informative yet hilarious text that introduces the science behind these cute but killer creatures, including their habitat, size, conservation status, and their position on the cute to scary scale of aw, adorable to awesome. Next slide, please. Wait Till You're Older is a heartwarming picture book featuring real scientific facts that teaches children about the importance of patience and living in the moment. Rhea despises the present, all because her brother says he won't let her play with his dinosaur toys until she's older. To solve this problem, she decides, I'm going to build a time machine. But even though she does everything her time travel book says, she can't seem to get it right. Then, in her last attempt to find what she needs, her brother asks if he can help. Perhaps the present could be okay after all. There's also some really great back matter in this book that explores the nature of time and how we might actually time travel. Next slide, please. All right, we are continuing with this STEM extravaganza with What Fish Are Saying. Did you know that deep in the ocean, fish are actually loud? I didn't. With modern technology, scientists have recently discovered that fish and shellfish grunt and groan, crackle and cluck, and even burp and boop to communicate. They warn each other, woo each other, and welcome each other with sounds, making the ocean actually quite noisy. This is an upbeat, rhyming nonfiction picture book that explores underwater science and noise in a very unique way. Next slide, please. And I love these guys. Axolotl and Axolotl is an axolotl themed, absolutely hilarious new read aloud about fighting and making up. This is for all the books for siblings or friends who just need to learn how to chill their gills. Axolotl and her younger brother Axolotl are total opposites, and sometimes their differences lead them to poke a little and joke a little, and then shout a lottle and pout a lottle. But can these two totally opposite siblings resolve their differences, Ax apologize, and learn to play nicely together? Spoiler alert. Next slide, please. Okay, I know we're not supposed to have our favorite picture books, but if someone were to corner me and ask me what it was, it would be this one, The Giving Flower by Pura Belpré Honoré Alda P. Dobbs, with her lyrical and vibrant picture book about the poinsettia flower and the holiday traditions it inspired. The story of the poinsettia goes back through hundreds of years. First, the flower grew wild, a yellow blossom with bracts that turn brilliant red in the winter. The ancient Nuhas cultivated it, then it inspired Mexico's most famous Christmas legend. After the flower caught the eye of Mexico's first US ambassador, it became known as we know now as the poinsettia flower. Yet it has many more names and traditions and even more colors tied to it, which you get to learn about in this beautiful, beautiful book. Next slide, please. The Pinecone Secret is a cozy, rhyming life cycle picture book where a pine cone becomes something new with each turn of the page. From a tower to a feast, a blanket to a Christmas tree, this book also includes extensive back matter on fun facts about pine trees and where to find them, along with, of course, a pine cone craft, because who did not do a pine cone craft when they were younger? Next slide, please. All right, My Grandma and Grandpa Rock is an exuberant new picture book about cool grandmas and rad grandpas everywhere, from the world-renowned rock legends Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Grandparents love to rock every way they can, whether it's by singing out loud, dancing to a song in their hearts, or just living their best lives. This is a bright and diverse picture book that celebrates the special relationship between children and grandparents. This one is truly heartwarming. I love it. Next slide, please. All right, are you ready for round 3 of the hilarious award-winning guessing game picture book Butt or Face? Discover fascinating facts about disgusting animals while guessing if you're looking at a butt or face. Butt or Face Volume 3, Super Gross Butts, continues the entertaining challenge with a new set of nasty animals from all over the world. Examine a close-up photo of an animal and then guess whether you're looking at the top or the bottom. The answer is revealed on the next page with a photo of the complete animals and some facts about the animals. Readers will discover animals like the horned lizard that shoots blood from its eyes, a tongue-eating louse, a caterpillar that ejects poop, and many more gross, amazing animals. Next slide, please. All right, from best-selling author Diane Alber, creator of the Spot and Scribble series, comes Never Let a Unicorn Scribble. It is a hilarious picture book that teaches an important lesson on creativity and imagination. Even if everyone says never let a unicorn scribble, one little girl is determined to let her unicorns in her artist shine. But unicorns aren't all rainbows and glitter. Give them a crayon and who knows what colorful magical messes will happen. As the silly shenanigans and colorful chaos grows, a little girl and her pet unicorn realize that maybe a little mess is needed to make a beautiful masterpiece. Next slide, please. Right, from parenting podcaster and former news anchor Lynn Smith comes Just Keep Going, an empowering picture book adventure about a lost mouse who faces his fears, finds friends who help, and remembers how strong he is. Sometimes, as Mouse takes his journey through a long day, he gets overwhelmed by big feelings. Don't we all? But along the way, he meets friends who show him how to do the things that help, whether it's jumping up and down to shake off scared feelings, getting a hug, or just pausing to breathe. And sometimes the best thing to do is just keep going. Next slide, please. All right, join Simon the Saber-tooth and on his first hunt through the Ice Age in Tiny Tooth. What prehistoric animals will he meet? What sounds will he hear? What places will he visit? Most importantly, can he save his pack from the terrible dire wolves? This is a rhyming, immersive read aloud experience that explores the awesome world of the Ice Age through one tiny saber-tooth's eyes. With a message of bravery and working together, readers will root for Simon, the runt of the pack, and his wide collection of friends. Of course, there is amazing back matter about the time period and prehistoric animals in this one, and I love the illustrations on this one. You can kind of see the example here, but it deals with a lot of sound. All right, next slide, please. All right, we just zoomed right through that. These are all of the books I have for you today, but of course, please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Thank you so much. I'm passing it off to the next presenter.
Thank you so much, Emily. Next, we'll hear from Kaylee Flagg. Kaylee is the Assistant Marketing Manager on the Education and Library team at Simon & Schuster. For all 4 years of middle school, she won most books checked out at her library, so you could say her career is the ultimate expression of her childhood ambition. When she's not reading, she is usually running in Central Park, attempting a new recipe, following random dogs down the street. Thanks for being here today, Kaylee.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for that introduction. Like you just heard, my name is Kaylee Flagg, and I'm an Assistant Marketing Manager of Children's Library at Simon & Schuster. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm very excited to tell you about some of our favorite picture books from this year so far, as well as the titles we're most excited about for the rest of 2025. Let's get started. We can go to the next slide. I'm going to begin by telling you all about some of our 2025 titles with the most starred reviews. Next slide. Every Monday Mabel has 5-starred reviews. From the creator of I'm Going to Build a Snowman comes an enthusiastic and delightful, says book page, celebration of community helpers that captures the joy and wonder of being a kid, centering around a precocious girl whose favorite day of the week is Monday. If you guys have ever heard of or know any kids who are obsessed with the garbage man and garbage trucks, this is perfect for them. Next slide. Where Are You, Bronte? A touching story about love, loss, and remembrance in the wake of losing a beloved pet is the final completed book written by beloved creator Tommy DePaula, with art by award-winning illustrator Barbara McClintock. Kirkus Reviews calls this one a gentle delight, simultaneously honoring both the dog DePaula lost and the artist we lost in turn. This is heart-wrenching. Keep tissues close when you read this one, but it's so beautiful in just so many ways and a wonderful way to remember Tommy. Next slide. From James Beard award-winning chef Alexander Smalls, New York Times bestselling author and Simon Schuster's own Deneen Milner, and award-winning illustrator Frank Morrison comes When Alexander Graced the Table, a vibrant visual narrative, according to Publishers Weekly, of family, traditions, and the little moments shared at the dinner table that make all the difference. Next slide. Stalactite and Stalagmite is a hilarious and thought-provoking picture book about 2 little cave rock formations who witness the entire history of the world, perfect for fans of All Upper Jeffers, John Klassen, and Mac Barnett. Kirkus Reviews called this one both gloriously expansive and goofy. In short, everything young readers could ask for. And I do have some breaking news, which is that Drew Beckmeyer is going to be the lunch keynote speaker at Picture Book Palooza on July 17th. That's SLJ's Picture Book Palooza, if you guys will be there. Next slide. In The Keeper of Stories, a poignant and uplifting true story of community, a neighborhood comes together in the wake of a library fire to save the stories within, offering a timely reminder of the essential role libraries and books play in our communities. Next slide. Get the scoop on bison poop and the tiny ecosystem it creates in Poo Pile on the Prairie, an illuminating nonfiction picture book that explores how even the smallest habitats can play a big role in nature. This is a Junior Library Guild selection, and Booklist calls it incredibly amusing and spectacular. And Amy has a whole picture book series on different tiny habitats that you guys should definitely check out. Next slide. And now we're going to dive into some highlights from the spring and summer seasons. Next slide. Spend a morning at the barbershop and Saturday morning at the shop, an upbeat picture book celebration of the spaces and places that bring communities together. A flightless fairy befriends a human girl and discovers her magic in Lily's Dream, an enchanting picture book debut from the New York Times bestselling author and illustrator of Parker Looks Up, B. Jackson. Fierce Aunties is a joyful and vibrant celebration of what makes aunties so special from Indigenous author and illustrator team Laurel Goodluck and Steph Littlebird, inviting all kids to connect with the fierce aunties in their lives. Next slide. From the best-selling creators of the Ladybug Girl series comes Elvis and Romeo, a picture book about the misadventures of two very different dogs who become unlikely friends. And we're doing a whole series package with Elvis and Romeo. They have a ready-to-read book coming out with us this summer. There's going to be chapter books, more picture books, so keep your eye on these two. The Monarch is a gorgeous, lively picture book companion to Kristen Hall and Isabel Arsenault's beloved and acclaimed The Honeybee that celebrates the inspiring journey of the monarch butterfly. And from Matthew Forsythe, the creator of the acclaimed and beloved Poco and the Drum, comes Aggie and the Ghost, a surprising and pleasing picture book about rules and sharing, and an epic game of tic-tac-toe. This is a Lit Hub Most Anticipated Children's Book of 2025. Next slide. And now let's dive into some nonfiction essentials. Next slide. From Newbery Honor and Stonewall Book Award-winning author Kyle Lukoff and celebrated picture book illustrator Levi Hastings comes Are You a Friend of Dorothy?, a picture book about how people found community in a time when they had to keep their true selves secret. This one has 2-star reviews, and you definitely should pick it up for any pride displays you have. The Leaf Detective Meets Fireflies in Firefly Song from Cybert honoree Colin Pave, a story about how one woman proved to scientists that the fireflies she watched as a young girl put on dazzling and impossibly synchronous nighttime performances. And the art in this one is just beautiful as well. Discover the true story of Kathy Sullivan in the high-flying, deep-diving adventures of Kathy Sullivan, the first woman to walk in space and the only woman who has been to both outer space and the depths of the ocean. Ursula Marvin was a rock star in the field of geology at a time when it was nearly impossible for women to pursue careers in science. Discover her story in Rockstar by Orbis Pictus Award recipient Sandra Neal Wallace. Next slide. And now let's take a moment for some of our Spanish editions. Next slide. Coming out this year in Spanish, we have the classic Kitten and the Night Watchman, as well as the forthcoming Bitsy Bat School Star, the Spanish translation, and This Moment is Special by John Parra. This Moment is Special is a simultaneous Spanish and English publication, and we're constantly ramping up our titles in translation and also our simultaneous publications, so make sure to keep checking all of our resources and our sell sheets for our Spanish titles. Next slide. Now it's time for our hottest fall reads. Next slide. From the New York Times bestselling creator of Not Quite Narwhal, Jessie Sima, comes Snow Kid, a heart-melting, wintry picture book about a snow kid finding out what it means to be themselves. A girl and her pet giraffe are friends despite their difference in size in The Trouble with Giraffes, a tender picture book companion to the best-selling and critically acclaimed Strictly No Elephants. Small Walt meets The Last Stop on Market Street, An Elevator on 74th Street, a picture book about a warm-hearted elevator that's part matchmaker, part friend, and all sweetness. And this is a must-read for anyone who lives in New York City. Next slide. All the Stars in the Sky is a sweet, big-hearted picture book about how a young boy who learns the Cherokee lesson of Gadugi, how working together and helping each other makes the whole community stronger. Lastly, we have Glitter Kittens from Bill Joyce, best-selling creator of the fantastic flying books of Mr. Morris Lesmore and our very own Rocket Puppies. This is a sparkling picture book about glittery kittens whose vanity annoys their friends until their dazzling looks draw the attention of a monster. Next slide. And finally, let's take a moment for these stunning Lynn Curley repackages. These are coming all throughout the year. Next slide. Lynn has won numerous awards for his work, including but not limited to a Robert F. Seibert Honor Book, an Orbis Pictus Award, an ALA Notable Books for Children, and a Bank Street Best Children's Book of the Year. We're excited to be republishing new and updated versions of these classics. And next slide. And that is all from me. Please be sure to check out the helpful resources shown here, and I look forward to speaking with you all again very soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kaylee. Next, we'll hear from Maddie Hughes. Maddie is the Associate Manager for School and Library Marketing at Disney Publishing, where she has been a part of the team since 2018. She is thrilled to be able to read and talk about books of all kinds as part of her job. Originally from Denver, Colorado, Maddie is now based in LA, where she loves to hike, knit, and of course, visit her local library. The floor is yours, Maddie.
Thanks, Sarah. Hi, everyone. It's so great to be here. I'm so excited to present a selection of upcoming picture book titles from Disney Publishing. These are all just in publication date order, so nothing too grouped here. But next slide. First up, we have The Fresh Beat, a Boss Family Groove by Allison Holker Boss and illustrated by Shalene Wright. In this moving and motivating follow-up to TV personality and celebrity dancer Allison Holker Boss's instant bestseller, Keep Dancing Through, her middle son Maddox finds that a fresh haircut and some family backup helps him find a new groove, all on his own. Next slide. Just a look at the interior art, and next slide. Kitty vs. Kindergarten by Martha Freeman, illustrated by Ada Cobbin. Kitty has everything he could ever want. Breakfast at 7, supper at 4, and his favorite Raggedy Mouse toy. When Kitty goes to sleep, he dreams of a so cozy life exactly the same as his own, because same is what Kitty likes. But Kitty's world is rocked when his good, nice boy announces that Kitty will be going to kindergarten. Next slide. At kindergarten, Kitty is not able to do the things he usually does. He can't watch his nature shows, sharpen his claws, or hunt for snacks. But with the help of his good, nice boy and the teacher, Kitty learns that he can enjoy trying new things and still get home in time for supper. This is a perfect book for kids who are just going to kindergarten or school for the first time. Next slide. Norman and the Smell Adventure by Ryan T. Higgins. New York Times bestselling creator Ryan T. Higgins follows up the much-lauded Norman Didn't Do It with this hilarious sequel about answering the call and smell of adventure. For those of you who aren't familiar with the first book or who need a bit of a refresher, Norman is a porcupine. Norman's best friend Mildred is Mildred. Mildred is a tree. After a few bumps in the road in the first book, Norman and Mildred's friendship is stronger than ever. They have favorite things they do together day after day. But when Norman wakes one morning and wants to try something new, he's frustrated to learn that Mildred has other plans. So Norman storms off on his own without Mildred. Can their friendship survive? And will Norman find an adventure? With his signature humor and heart, Ryan T. Higgins explores the joy of independence and the power of best friendship. Next slide. Forgot interiors here. Next slide. Embarrassed Ferret by Lisa Franco-Riddio, illustrated by Andrea Sarumi. When every oopsie is followed by an uh-oh, little Ferret's embarrassment grows. How will she survive the day at forest school? Ferret trips while getting off the bus, makes a gigantic litter mess at craft time, urgently has to pee at recess, and gets toilet paper on her shoe. But when others in the classroom goof up in equally embarrassing ways, Ferret is relieved to discover that nobody's perfect. Next slide. This first book in the Forest School of Big Feelings series from Lisa Franco-Riddio and Andrea Sarumi is sure to help little ones, parents, and caregivers navigate the many emotions of life, especially in this case when it comes to feeling nervous about starting school. Next slide. The Day the Books Disappeared by Joanna Ho and Caroline Cousin Pritchard, illustrated by Dan Santat. Arnold didn't mean for the books to disappear. Not exactly. It all started because he liked his book about airplanes best. Why would anyone want to read about tomatoes or ostriches or submarines, the worst, when they could read about planes instead? Next slide. When Arnold realizes, poof, he can make the other books vanish, he goes a little too far. Before he knows it, all the books are gone, including his own. Can Arnold figure out how to bring them back before it's too late? This book by Joanna Ho and Carolyn Cousin Pritchard and Caldecott winner Dan Santat about books celebrates themes of empathy, interconnectedness, and the value of diverse and differing perspectives. And also is, of course, incredibly timely in the way that it speaks to the importance of reading freely, but addresses it in an extremely kid-friendly way. Next slide. Another sample of the illustrations. This is a really fun take that also speaks to, of course, book banning, which is such a big topic right now. And the next slide. I Am Because We Are by Alison Matuli, illustrated by Talia Skiles. For fans of For All the World and All Are Welcome comes a new classic that celebrates community. Grounded in African Ubuntu philosophy, this lyrical picture book celebrates community and invites readers to lift up our neighbors. Author Alison Matuli explores the idea of Ubuntu, which is often translated as I am because we are, or humanity towards others. Next slide. Your joy is my joy. My freedom is your freedom. Me, you, we, all of us. That is community. This is Ubuntu. This rhythmic story follows one child as they dream, perform, and celebrate at the heart of their community. And I just really love the illustration style in this book. Is really beautiful. Next slide. The Bucket List Family and the Big Adventure by Garrett G. This inspiring story from the celebrated bucket list family, globetrotters who have visited more than 100 countries and counting, encourages young readers and their families to seek adventure and create special memories wherever they are. Dorothy G. loves adventure days with her family. They're the days she, her younger brothers, and her mom and dad spend time together dreaming up adventures big and small, like flying an airplane over the pyramids at Giza and soaring above the Nile. But as their family life gets busier and busier, they find less time to play adventure. Then, one Saturday, her life changes forever. Mom and Dad roll out a map and ask Dorothy and her brothers, where should we go this time? Their minds run wild, go sledding down a mountain, practice cannonballs in a lake, eat pizza in Italy, see hippos on safari in Tanzania. The biggest surprise comes next. What if we make these adventures happen for real? Heartwarming and wholesome, this charmingly illustrated tale of one imaginative family will inspire others to find joy in play, dream big, and most importantly, find new ways to make memories together. And while the family is known for their aspirational lifestyle content, I really like that this book centers the importance of family and adventures, and that it's not necessarily about where you are, but who you're with and the power of finding adventure every day, which makes this book kind of accessible for all families. Some of the interiors, thank you. And next slide. Impossible Possum for Mayor by Justin Colon, illustrated by Ray Sanchez. What's badder than using a possum populator to create your very own evil penguin sidekick running for mayor, then taking over the world? Lucky for us, Carl the Possum isn't quite sure what it takes to win a human election. If you haven't met Carl in his first book, Impossible Possums, now you can learn that Carl the Possum is bad to the bone, and he wants to take over the world. So he decides to run for mayor. The only problem is he has to get people to vote for him first. Hijinks and laughs abound as Carl and his penguin sidekick Filbert try to entice potential voters with guppies, mice cream, and other completely misguided gestures. Next slide. Will Carl be elected mayor, or will chaos rule? Justin Colon and James Ray Sanchez bring true hilarity and wit to the second book starring Carl and Filbert. Next slide. Oh, oops, next slide again. And then the final section, I just have a couple upcoming board books to speak about quickly. Knuffle Bunny 2 and Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus are both coming out as available for the first time in board book format. So be sure to get this for all of the youngest fans of Mo Willems' beloved picture books. And next slide. Bundle Up Penelope Rex. This original board book puts beloved young dino Penelope Rex from We Don't Eat Our Classmates in a wintry situation that many parents and kids will be very familiar with. It's a perfect winter day, and Penelope wants to play outside with her saber-toothed puppy, Mittens. But first, she has to put on her winter gear. When she's finally all bundled up, she has to go to the bathroom. This book is classic Ryan T. Higgins, funny and heartfelt, and brings Penelope to the board book format for the first time. Next slide. Oh, yeah, it's just so cute and it's super funny and very relatable. Next slide. Finally, we have Photo Art Colors Colores, which is a board book in the Photo Art series from National Geographic by photographer Joel Sartore, who's known for his photo art series. This is a really cool board book that just is teaching kids colors in both English and Spanish using this really iconic photography of all the animals that Joel has taken over the years. Next slide. You can see that amazing flamingo. Next slide. That's everything from me. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Here's my email. Thank you all so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Maddie. Next, we'll hear from Casey Griffin. As a senior marketing manager, Casey's duties include developing marketing plans across imprints, creating monthly newsletters to showcase new and seasonal titles, coordinating with licensors for creative collaborations, and managing Phoenix's participation in industry events. Her favorite part of her job is the ever-changing day-to-day that presents new challenges and opportunities. Take it away, Casey.
Hello. Thank you all for being here today. I'm really excited to talk about these picture books, so let's jump in on in. This is The Moon Seed by Sally Ann Garland. This is the first of the Sally Ann Garland titles that I'll be showing you all today, but there are a few others, so please go check those out. They're all really, really wonderful. This story is a reimagining of one of the seeds that was brought into orbit on the Apollo 14 mission. This seed is planted here on Earth and grows and stretches its branches toward the moon where it wants to be close to again. It's a lovely story about enjoying the ones around you and finding beauty right where you are. Next. This is Heave Ho. This book actually just published last week, so it's hot off the press. This story follows Cub as he experiences some big feelings and learns how to deal with them. At first, he shuts down and stomps off, but then he calms himself down and he and his friends set off on an imaginary journey across the sea. It's a gentle story about self-regulation, finding the space to do so, and that sometimes being a friend is just being ready to be there when someone lets you in. Next. Spooky. This is our last complete title by Sally Ann Garland today. Moving into a new place is always a little exciting, a little nerve-wracking, and a little spooky. When a new family moves into a big old house, they soon discover that a little black cat is already living there. As they unpack and settle in, everyone learns to live together as a family. This story is all about life changes and being patient with new situations. This one will be coming out in August, so it's perfect for fall and spooky season. Next. This is a super sneaky sneak peek of a 2026 title from Sally Ann Garland. It's called Nightlight. It's about a little wolf who is afraid of the dark until he discovers that there are always bright lights within himself. And that's all I can share for now. It is coming in school and library as well, but not yet, not quite. Next. It's Boring Being a Cat, written by Adam Bestwick and illustrated by Chris Caddy. Cat is sick and tired of being a cat. It is so boring. He has great dreams of being a lion or a horse or a polar bear, but Dog is there to point out why he would not actually like to be any of those animals. This is silly rhyming story follows Cat as he discovers that being himself is not so boring after all. This story comes out in July. It's got bright, fun summer colors, and it's really just a treat to read. Next. Not So Bad Guys Vampire, written and illustrated by Michael Buxton. Count Derek is a vampire, and he is really excited to move to his new home and make some new friends. But the townsfolk are wary and a bit afraid of him. What can he do to change their minds? This is a sweet story about perspective and seeing others for who they really are. This comes out in August, perfect timing for Halloween. Next. And this is Not So Bad Guy's Snow Monster, also by Michael Buxton. Simon is a Yeti. And he's a bit of a homebody that likes his home exactly the way it is. Quiet, peaceful, serene. But when some humans start ruining things, what can he do to make them stop? It's another great story about perspective and seeing things differently. I do have to apologize. There is a slight mistake on this slide. It comes out in September. It's not yet available, but it's still great timing for Halloween if you wanted to tie into the monster theme, but it's also perfect for winter. It shows a lot of fun snow scenes, including skiing and sledding, and it's very fun. Next. This is A Job for Penelope, written and illustrated by Melanie Miketz. Everyone in Penelope's family has a job. Mom is a super important lawyer, dad is a gourmet chef, and her brother is in first grade. But well, Penelope is not currently employed. But this Boston Terrier does not want to sit at home all day and wait for her family to come back. She decides to try out a few jobs. Fire dog, police dog, sheepdog, but eventually she finds the right fit. This sweet story shows the importance of trying new things, but ultimately finding the spaces where your talents are truly appreciated. Next. Random Acts of Cakeness, written by Vicky Marmaras and illustrated by Isabel Duffy. Arun is the friend that is always there when someone needs to be cheered up. Maybe not so much in words, but definitely in his actions. But who will cheer him up when he bites off more than he can chew? His friends, of course. Publishers Weekly reviewed it as a sweet ode to the way kindness inspires kindness, and that's exactly what this story is. Next. Are We There Yet? Written by Melissa Abraham and illustrated by Simone Douglas. Soretta has so many questions. Do pigs snore? Can sheep cartwheel? Do fairies live over there? Sometimes she doesn't even let her mom answer. She makes up her own answers with her fantastical imagination. This story is a playful conversation between a patient mom and her curious daughter. What will Soretta ask next on her walk to Aunt Abby's house? Find out here. Next. Nail Polish is Two for Boys, written by Emma Claire Sunday and illustrated by Caitlin O'Dwyer. Alex lives a very gray and drab life. He's shy and hesitant until one summer he goes to camp, meets a ton of new friends, and paints his nails for the very first time. He suddenly experiences the world in vivid color. But what will his dad and big brother say about his nails? The illustrations start gray and reflect the changes in Alex's becoming colorful world. So the question I'll leave you with is, what colors shine through when you're just being you? Next. So that's really it from me. All of these titles have free downloadable activity or will have free downloadable activity on our website. If any of you are attending ALA this year, Emma Claire will be one of the authors signing books at our booth, so please stop by. We'll be at booth 1425. This is all my info where you can contact me or find more information on these books and all of our Sunbird books. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Casey. Finally, we'll hear from Kari Madden. Kari is an editor based in Toronto, Ontario. In his current role acquiring titles for Annick Press, he draws on his many years of bookselling experience and his passion for children's literature to find stories that speak to young readers. Thanks for joining us today, Kari.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. As you just said, yes, I'm a editor at Annick Press, and previously a long-term bookseller. So chatting about books is one of my favorite things to do. But I guess let's get started. Next slide, please. I should also mention that this is Annick's 50th year, so you'll see what Annick is all about in terms of the kinds of stories we're interested in promoting and what we've been promoting over the last 5 decades. Yes, if you're interested in ordering, our books are distributed in the United States by PGW, or Publishers Group West. Next slide. First up is Ancestor's Kitchen by Willie Paul and Jakara David. This one is a poignant and poetic picture book celebrating traditional indigenous harvesting, foods, and the connections that these build for all relations. Next slide, please. The book follows the young protagonist as she and her grandmother make a special meal for their community. As her grandmother teaches her the recipe, the reader sees how each ingredient was gathered, emphasizing the relationship to the land and their community. As they make their way through the recipe, each ingredient and corresponding memory carries us through the seasons, which leads us to a delicious meal for the community and a focus on the importance of spirit plates and honoring ancestors for Indigenous peoples. Next slide, please. Our Ancestors Kitchen features Métis, Anishinaabe, and Mohawk representations in text and art. The back matter features an author's note about Indigenous food harvesting practices and has questions for the readers. And also, I can't forget, a recipe for Newish, a tasty ice cream treat. It also features Anishinaabe words for animals and medicines. Next slide, please. Next up is When the Air Sang by Laura Bonche and Sarah Wang. This one is a gorgeous and picture book about young insect enthusiast who learns about the ever mysterious cicada and how curiosity about nature never truly goes away. Next slide, please. Annie is tired of waiting. What are these mysterious insects that are appearing all over her backyard? Each day, her excitement for their arrival grows, but to her disappointment, they all seem to be taking their sweet time coming out. To make the wait easier, each of the women in Annie's family have a memory to share about the last time the cicadas emerged. When the magnificent insects finally appear and sing their incredible songs, Annie realizes some things are worth the wait. Next slide, please. The book features themes of curiosity about nature and science, and also the memories and knowledge that we hold and pass on to future generations. There's also a little bit of nonfiction element as well, with key facts about cicadas throughout the story and in the back matter. The beautiful illustrations feature lots of gorgeous flora and fauna and detailed illustrations of the cicadas, of course. Next slide, please. We have The Biggest Smallest Thing by Sarah DeWall and Anna Strechu. This one is for fans of Ada Twist Scientists. It's a steam-packed celebration of outside-the-box thinking in a picture book set during a school science fair. Next slide. In it, a budding chemist named Mo just has to win this year's scintillating science symposium. He knows his classmates are talented, but none of them are real scientists like him, especially not Muriel. Or are they? As the day of the symposium arrives, readers will love discovering the scientific surprises behind the Sunnyshill Elementary students' projects, from lemon meringue pie to boogers. Next slide, please. This intriguing story emphasizes creativity and validates different ways of problem solving. It promotes an inclusive representation of what counts as science and emphasizes the process part of science, asking questions and seeing where they lead. It also has back matter that includes instructions to make Mo's glittery volcano and blurbs about the science behind the other experiments listed in the scintillating science symposium. Next slide, please. Next is Yaya and the Dantats by Camelia Ku and Phoebe Zhao. This one is a joyful story all about the mischief a young girl and her Yaya get up to, and the friends they make and the Dantats they eat during her weekly visits to his long-term care home. Next slide, please. The narrator and her Yaya don't have a lot in common, but they do love dantats and never miss their weekly visits to share in the custody treat. But these visits have been different and a little scary since Yaya moved into a nursing home. And today, Yaya is nowhere to be found. Did he forget their visit? The narrator must follow a trail of dantat crumbs to find him and get him back to his brain. In doing so, she confronts some of the things she finds a little intimidating about her grandpa's new home and realizes maybe it's a pretty great place after all, and that there's a lot of new friends to make there. Next slide, please. In this poignant and charming story, it's implied that Yaya is experiencing some cognitive decline. And although this is the case, the story emphasizes his caring and mischievous qualities rather than just focusing on what he's lost. It's also unique in its representation of long-term care homes. It gently acknowledges that these places can seem scary for kids while also showing the joy and community that can be found there. The energetic and detailed art has a lot of fun things to spot, so it definitely benefits rereads. Next slide, please. Here we have Ratamaku by Howie Shia. It's a unique adventure picture book for music lovers of all ages about never being quiet, never giving up, and never underestimating the power of percussion. Next slide. I have to say this every time. Ratamaku is an adventure story told as a combination picture book and a graphic music score in the vein of groundbreaking composers like John Cage and Ligeti. The story itself, though, is simple enough. A group of children form a drum line to rescue their parents from monsters, and the world they move through, though wild and uncertain, is kept in check by the magic of the children's own making, their music. Yellow Submarine meets Where the Wild Things Are. It's a celebration of percussion and persistence. Next slide. Radamaku looks great on the page, but is equally fun to read aloud. The drumming theme provides excellent opportunities for engagement in the classroom setting and also features back matter that shows various drumming patterns that allow young readers to drum along the next time they read through. The themes of empowerment and unexpected strength will resonate across many groups. Next is Hello Little Ones by Amandine Pugh. With humor and charm, this adorable board book highlights some of the endearing similarities between the behavior of small children, and other wild animals. Next slide. Whether they are running, swimming, swinging, or just cuddling up and falling asleep, each spread in Hello Little Ones highlights some of the activities that young humans and animals have in common. Pairing simple text with whimsical illustration, these comparisons are full of amusing details that readers will enjoy pointing out at story time. Next. Engaging, fun, and silly, Amandine Pugh's irresistible art makes this book a great gift for very young readers and a wonderful addition to any preschool library. Next slide. Here we have Baseball Bats for Christmas by Michael Arvelik-Pisikak and Coco Apungak-Ling. And this one is a story that's actually turning 35 this year, coinciding with Annick's 50th anniversary. So what better time to put out a new version of it with new, fresh, contemporary illustrations. This is the type of story that Annick really prizes the most, with authentic storytelling, focusing on community, ingenuity, agency, and imagination. Next. In the story, the year is 1955, and Arvelik and his friends watch as Rocky Parsons lands his plane on the ice in Repulse Bay, a tiny community smack dab on the Arctic Circle. Having never seen trees before, the children try to guess what the 6 spindly things are that Rocky delivers. One of the boys has a brilliant idea. Why not use them as baseball bats? The winter landscapes and the Christmas scenes make this a beautiful holiday book. And also at a time when Christmas is frequently about overconsumption, the story has a really beautiful message around the holiday. Quote, Christmas was a time when you took your most favorite thing in the world and gave it to your very best friend, end quote. Next slide, please. Okay, we've got Unreal by Kate Simpson. Oh, next, please. Can you tell fact from fake? This is engaging and informational picture book that is an enthralling exploration of all the weird and wonderful creatures that may or may not inhabit our world. There's been a mix-up at the museum, and some of the displays from the Myths and Legends exhibit have snuck into the natural history wing, but we have to sort it out. And we tell fact and fiction. Kids will have a fun time guessing which animals and plants are real and which ones are fake in this strange world. Next slide. And the next slide. And the next slide. I wanted to get to Walking Together, the Mi'kmaq and English dual translation. So this is the bilingual edition by Elder Albert Marshall and Louise Ziminier and Emily K. Gagawishig. This is a re-release of a previously best-selling book that sold over 20,000 copies in its first English-only run. And in this version, we wanted to continue encouraging supporting Indigenous language learning by having the Mi'kmaq translation alongside it. It's beautiful, joyful, poetic, and it's one that promotes two-eyed seeing, which is Mi'kmaq understanding of having the strengths of both Indigenous way of seeing the world and a non-Indigenous way of seeing the world. Okay, I think we're at the end here, so I think we're gonna wrap up. Hopefully, you got a chance to take a look at some of those beautiful illustrations. And if you have any questions, yes, feel free to email marketing@annickpress.com. And thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Kari. And a big thank you to all of today's presenters. Tomorrow, all attendees will receive an email containing links to today's slide presentation, title list, certificate of completion, and video recording. For more about Booklist webinars, be sure to visit www.booklistonline.com/webinars, where you can view archives of past webinars and register for upcoming ones like those you see here. You can also find out about the latest webinars on our social channels. Visit us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and now Blue Sky. We are thrilled to announce that the digital version of Booklist Reader, the monthly reader's advisory magazine from the editors of Booklist, is now an ALA member benefit. Head over to our new and updated site to start reading. And if you're not already a Booklist subscriber, you can use your ALA membership ID to sign in. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. One more huge thank you to our panelists and to our sponsors, Sourcebooks, Simon & Schuster, Disney Publishing, Phoenix International Publications, and Annick Press. This concludes today's webinar. See you next time.